Good evening everyone and welcome back to the Ford Escort RS1600 League from NXTGEN Racing. This is round 12 sprint race at Brands Hatch Indy circuit. So it'll be interesting to see how many of the drivers forget to take the Indy loop and go into the GP, which is what we just did in the feature race. And we've got 12 in this lobby now, so some drivers have come back after retiring from the first race, and we have a new joiner in Tom. So hopefully this will be a pretty good race. Just 5 minutes of qualifying, halfway through that already. So we'll get about 3 laps in around here, I'd imagine. But let's hope for as much action as we had in the first race just now. Check out the channel for that video with the stream, live commentary as well. And it looks like Tom's going to be one of the first across the line. Ned first across the line with a 108.1. And Tom goes on a 58. So Ned obviously had a bad lap, but Scooby G provisionally pole until now, where NGL Lee has gone even quicker. And who's that going off? Didn't quite see who that was. Beckinsale, I think it might have been. Oh, it might be Larnica, I think. Yes, it was Larnica. So the first lap's getting onto the board now. Very cramped session in terms of qualifying with so little time. Drivers are wanting to get out as quickly as they can and get as much track time as they can. Who's in the pits still? Fraser in the pits. Looks like he might be starting from the back. Bob. Who knows? There's Bob. Trying to weave and get some temperature into his tyres, not that he needs to because the tyre wear is off, so he shouldn't need to do that, but either way, had a little bit of a moment and he might be getting in the way of Ned coming through behind him. There we go, Ned set a representative lap now, up to a 58, better than me, 1 minute late, first time around. And Fraser has left the session, so obviously not enjoying the night. In fairness, he hadn't actually signed up for this, but having previously raced, we thought we'd invite him and see how we got on. But currently on pole on a 56.040 is NGR Scuba G, and he's not quite going to get across the line to do one more lap, to do 2 more laps, so he'll have one more attempt as he goes even quicker. First one to break the 55s, and that is it. That's all he's going to do. NGR Lee comes across the line and trumps him with a 55.8. Beckinsale just behind on a 56.299. So I expect the times to be a lot quicker, obviously, a lot closer even, obviously because it's quite a short track, and everyone being out together, slipstream is very much advantageous around this track, despite it being so short, as Beckinsale extends Graham Hill a little bit there, and then gets all out of shape. But coming across the line, I think that's Tom just ahead. Yep, Tom coming across the line for the final time. Does he improve? No, he remains in 4th. Beckinsale will be the next one around. Currently in 3rd. I don't think he'll improve, but because he had a little bit of a moment. Whitford, I think he had a bit of a moment as well, but no, obviously not. Moves into 5th. Web user Johnny, that was Bays just behind in 8th. Larnica, I think that was. Yep, Larnica goes 10th. I'm surprised by that. I thought he'd be higher, but either way, might have good race pace. Bob comes across the line. Everyone's coming across the line at once. It's so fast and furious. But there we go. That's the 5 minute session over. We've got a 15-minute race coming up next. NGR Lee on pole yet again. No one can beat this man over qualifying session, it seems. Scooby G again in second, Beckinsale third, Cam 123, Diz in fourth, Whitford fifth, Tom Worcester in sixth. That's going to be confusing with two identical cars quite close together. Numpty Ned in seventh, good effort from him. Webb User Johnny 8th, Bays 9th, Larnaca 10th, Bob MK1 in 11th. So, as normal, the drivers have 2 minutes to sort themselves out. However, they only ever seem to use about 30 seconds of that time. 15-minute session in the dark. There we go. Drivers are readied up already. So, what's going to happen in this night-time dusk sort of twilight race even? As they get underway, Scooby G didn't get as good a start as he did in race 1, but Beckinsale got an excellent start and he's pulled alongside Scooby G. Can't quite get past that, and looks like he's going to lose a place to Whitford. As we come up to Druids for the first time, everyone looked like they got through Paddockfield Bend pretty plainly. As the camera's awful keeping up, and indeed everyone is still there. A bit of hip and shoulder. Webb User Johnny felt the force of that last race, and that was with Bays. I think it was maybe a bit of revenge or giving him a taste of his own medicine. Larnaca moved up one place at the start to Ned is the major loser from 7th to 11th. Let's see what he can do from there. As Bays and Webb User Johnny come into contact again through clearways, and Johnny has not had a good night. He's had none of it. Bays looks like he's going to retire. No, Bays carries on. Meanwhile, back at the front, it's a bit frantic there as Lee half defended from Scooby G, as Scooby gets a very good run through Paddock Bend as we head into Druids for the second time. Lee gives him room and gets the move done. Scooby G up to first, only momentarily, as Lee gets a very good exit, and a bit of contact. This is causing havoc. Let's go on board with Tom, who's at the back of this group. What can he see? A wall of cars by imagine. Yes, he can. Oh, Whitford and Cam, and Scooby's gone out wide. Tom's hoping for the best. Beckinsale's off as well. Tom from 6th to 3rd in what, 1-2 corners. I'd love to see a replay of that. I'm just watching it back on the screen. Whitford hit the inside curve at 30, but bounced him into Cam. Scooby G ran wide. Beckinsale, I think, locked up, and that was all that needed to be done. As Tom side by side with Whitford now into Paddock. Whitford takes the line, but Tom's coming back at him into Druids. Cam right behind as well. And yes, Tom's got the position, and Whitford's going to try frantically to defend her, if not get the place back from Tom. Oh, Tom very wide on the exit of Paddock Bend. We'll keep an eye on that, make sure he's not doing that too often, and he's hit Whitford. Does he hold on to it? I hope so, because that was going to be awkward otherwise. Meanwhile, looking back, Bob MK1 has got himself up to 5th, Ned's up to 6th, Larnaca up to 7th. Scooby G and Beckinsale have dropped all the way to the back almost. Bays 0007 recovering from his incident earlier as well. But Bob, debutants always seem to get a bit of luck. It does seem to be the way at the moment, but Bob's not going to complain. He'll take that, hand over fist. Larnaca has actually got people around him for once, so he'll be enjoying that. But Whitford has been shuffled to the back of this group. Meanwhile, NGR Lee plotting his escape, and he's pulled up 2 seconds already in probably about a lap and a half from the battling group behind. Cam now. No, sorry, I thought Cam got to the front of the group. He's still in 3rd. Let's have a little ride on board with Whitford. This is where it all went wrong 2 laps ago. Oh, a little bump on the back of Cam 123 Diz there. Nothing doing though, as Whitford dropped back if anything. But whoa, I just had a quick notice that the gaggle, the second group, and that is Scooby G making his way back through the field, getting past Ned. Beckinsale is not close. He's 4 seconds back from this group, and Scooby G immediately on the attack of Larnaca as well. He's not hanging around. He needs to get some points back on the board for his championship. I mean, he can't win, but he can definitely get a second or third. Well, definitely a third, maybe not a second, but either way, he wants to finish as high up the points as he can. And in doing so, it's allowing Ned to get on to the tail of Larnaca, and they've indeed made contact. Larnaca has gone off way wide there. Ned was a bit optimistic in my opinion there, took a bit too much curb through Surtees and did bump into Larnaca, who's dropped down past Beckinsale and into 9th. Bays is not too far away from there. Don't think Ned's going to wait for him. A bit optimistic in my opinion, but we'll see what the driver's point of view was of it as well. However, back at the front it's still status quo. The lead is stretched to 3 seconds, but the positions are still the same. Just to see how close Scooby G is to Bob. Yeah, Scooby G closed right back onto the tail of Bob MK1. So Scooby will look to get past pretty pronto. I think he's got caught out a little bit there, having to check up and take evasive action. But Cam has been shuffled back to 4th place at a battle for 2nd. And in fact, I must have missed something because Tom's pulled away, Whitford's dropped back, and Cam's fallen to 5th. As is the way always, something happens just as you move away from the battle. But Scooby G definitely the quicker of the two drivers here. As he goes down the inside into Druid, Bob giving him a lot of room. Might have been a thank you very much for letting me through from Scooby, little flash of the lights there. But Bob, as is the way with a lot of people when you join a league, you don't want to upset people first race, so you do tend to give a bit more than you normally would in terms of space. Either way, Bob's having a pretty decent evening, and Cam looks like he's going to lapping very similar time to Whitford, 2/10 difference there. Beckinsale will be the next on the hit list to get past Bob. Beckinsale lapping similarly to Scooby G last lap around. So we'll look to close pretty soon. Meanwhile, Bays and Larnaca's having a pretty poor race this time around the Indy circuit, struggling a little bit after a solid result in the GP Loop feature race. But Larnaca just holding on for now. These two good friends off the track. Bays in yellow gets through for now. But it's going to have the outside at Surtees, and we've seen it get fairly hectic across here and often gone pretty awry. Larnaca, looking to cut back down the inside, but Bays parked it on the apex excellently and instead got a nice punt up the rear from the silver machine. Meanwhile, Whitford closing the gap to Tom for 2nd. Whitford needing the points over to sort of keep the gap to MGR Lee in the championship standings. Whitford currently 2nd, MGR Lee currently in the lead by a healthy margin. Tom, having not raced at the start of the season, is not really anywhere in the championship competitively, but definitely on the track he's been very competitive, and looks like he's getting lined up pretty quickly. We go on board with Whitford 0 as we head into Paddock Hill Bend. Just over 6 minutes left of the race remaining. There's still plenty of time for things to change. Tom defending, Whitford looking for the cutback, taking the qualifying line as such through Druids. Didn't work there. Oh, and I just noticed Bays has dropped way back from Larnaca, so Bays obviously having a fairly major moment there. Larnaca is at the hairpin. Ned actually is keeping up with Beckinsale, so Beckinsale obviously had a bad lap, 2 seconds slower than Bob ahead and Beckinsale behind. Stevie G is not really able to close too much, only tenths of a second he's closing on the cars ahead, but Ned will get a tow from Beckinsale here. Whether or not he'll be able to stay with him or even make a move is another question. But Whitford looking like the main man to do something here. Yeah, we just noticed these two are closed up on Bob a bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. But here we go, Whitford trying to work an opening with Tom. But will an opening appear? Will go for the typical Matt Neal move down the inside at Clearways and use his elbows to shuffle his way through. Not that time. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if someone did it. But out front, NJ Lee got a comfortable 5.5 second lead now. No, he had a fairly comfortable lead in the first race, and that didn't turn out well for him. So definitely have a watch of that on the live stream from last race. If you get the opportunity, it's a very interesting race, and a lot will happen. Cam not able to close the gap back up to these two. Lapping a little bit quicker, but again only tenths of a second quicker. Almost bump drafting Tom through, and there we go, there's the half look at a Matt Neal move down the inside at Clearways. Respectful enough not to use his hip and shoulder to get through. Instead uses the exit as Tom ran a little bit wide, giving him a bit of space, and Whitford back into second place. Tom settles in behind for third. I don't think this is going to be over by a long shot, and indeed that is the case as Tom immediately on the attack again. Whitford run a little bit wide over the curb, and Tom retakes second place back off of Whitford, and this is allowing Cam to close the gap. Not quite with them yet. Only 3 minutes left on the clock for these guys. Beckinsale has got past Bob in the meantime, who is coming under a bit of pressure from Numpty Ned. This for 7th place. But the main battle at the moment is for second. Although Bob made a little bit of a mistake through Graham Hill Bend. Ned right behind him now. Doesn't quite get down the inside there, but we'll have to settle behind in the meantime. Whitford still harassing the rear end of the blue and white Escort that is Tom Alster. Probably knows every little detail of this blue car now. Probably draw it by heart if he needed to. Excuse me, but oh, Tom, maybe a little bit too much curve, and Whitford's had a look down the inside. Tom really not giving him much space. A bit of a flash of the lights as well from Whitford, saying, "What are you doing, man? Give me some space." But nothing happened too badly. Cam not close enough to take advantage of this at the moment, but definitely close enough should they come into contact properly. A little bit of rubbing's fine. Now, has this got the adrenaline going in the veins of Whitford Zero? Will he go for a banzai move as we come into the final minute almost of the race? Will be the last lap next time round. But Whitford Zero still unable to get through. He got through a few laps ago, only to be almost immediately retaken. Whitford looking left, looking right, not able to do anything at the moment. Let's just check back with these two. Ned has now got past Bob for 7th place. Bob will be looking to do what Tom did to Whitford a few laps ago and get immediately back on the attack. Meanwhile, NGR Lee, quite a comfortable gap of almost 6 seconds. In fact, it is 6 seconds to these two drivers now. Not going to be able to make anything of these two unless they come into strife at Clearways, as I wouldn't actually be surprised if it did. Oh, yep, there's a bit of bumping. Oh, they both run wide. No, Tom's gone round, and indeed Cam is going to take Whitford, is he? But we're going to have to go to the leader. NGR Lee takes another win this season. Excellent drive, avoided the carnage, but across the line it's going to be a photo finished. It looks like it's going to be Cam Whitford. Who was it? Don't know. Whitford and got second, just ahead of Cam. Photo finish. NGR Scary G takes 4th. Tom Walster takes 5th in the end. There might be a steward's inquiry there. We will have to find out. This is very much a provisional result. Beckinsale takes 6th. We'll be a bit disappointed having a good early race, just having been caught up. In his own mistake, really, I think. But Ned takes 7th, just ahead of Bob. Good battle in these two. Larnaca 666, a pretty poor race for his standards. But again, some more points on the board. And there we go, very much a provisional result. So NGR Lee taking another win ahead of Whitford 0. How much was the gap? It was 2 tenths in the end, actually. I thought it was a bit closer than that. Fastest lap of the race, look at that, 56 zeros for 3 drivers there, and it was Scooby G on this again with the fastest lap of the race. And also in 4th, Tom Worcester 5th, Beckinsale 92 in 6th, Numpty Ned, another strong result in 7th, Bob MK1 in 8th, Larnaca 666 in 9th, and Bays 10 in 10th, Bays 0007 in 10th, and also a lap down. But excellent racing throughout the field tonight, and next week we will be back at Alton Park. We'll be doing 2 layouts of that track as well, so definitely give that a watch, same time next week. So thank you very much everyone for tuning in and watching back. I'm sure the drivers would like to watch back what happened in both races, but nonetheless, make sure you're joining us next week. Get on the grid if you can, and we'll see you then. Good night.